Hey everybody, Michael here from Replica Airguns with another tabletop video review for everybody. Today we're checking out the G&G PCC45 Pro. It is an AEG M-LOK Airsoft SMG. And again, this is the tabletop review, so we're not going to do any shooting in this review. That will be coming up shortly down the road here. I'll put a link in the description to buy it in our Canada store. We don't currently have it in the US store. We may have other similar products there in the US store, so I'll put a link for something similar, at least to our AEG rifles. So today we're going to talk about specs, details. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to do some pros and cons. Let's start with the specifications. Now this product is manufactured and distributed by G&G. It's based on the modern pistol caliber of 45. And again, it's a carbine style Airsoft AEG rifle. It uses 6mm plastic airsoft rounds. It also has G&G's MOSFET ETU trigger system with Gen 4 MOSFET, which allows you to fire in basically semi and full auto or 3-round bursts. So that selector switch is for the safety, allows you to select semi, full auto, or if you program it, you could have 3-round burst. Now the gearbox and internals are version 2 style gearbox with 8mm bearings, and it does have an adjustable hop-up setup. Now the construction is going to be a lot of reinforced polymer on the outside, so the receiver and stuff like that, but it does have a CNC aluminum M-LOK handguard. The folding stock is polymer. It does have a rubber butt pad. Other metal parts would include the barrel, the rear sights, most of the controls, and of course the threaded barrel tip, which you'll see here is black, which is nice. It's not the red one. You're also going to find fully ambidextrous controls and a flat-faced competition-style trigger. Now the magazine capacity holds 110 rounds, so it's a mid-capa, which doesn't require any winding. The muzzle velocity is listed around 360 FPS, but you might find other claims of around 330 to 350. So we'll have to see how it tests out. And of course, that's always dependent on the weight of the BBs you're using. The overall weight is 4.44 pounds or 2 kilograms, and the overall length is 29.1 inches or 74 centimeters. That inner barrel length is around 10 inches, which is 25.5 centimeters. And the barrel thread is 14 millimeters counterclockwise. Now it's hard to find the battery rating in the manual, but from what I can tell, this does recommend using a 7.4 volt small stack LiPo recommended battery, and it's wired inside that handguard, so there's not a lot of space for it. You're gonna have to find something that fits. It's a bit of a con. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And it does come with one magazine, a manual, and the cleaning rod. Let's take a look at those right now, really quickly. So it's quite a large manual. Lots of stuff in here. Like I said, I could not find the battery specifications, but you can, good old internet does give you some recommendations when you look at it. I couldn't see anything in here, but yeah, all of your stuff that you're going to need to find. See, I couldn't see even anything up in that writing there. I just couldn't find it, but there's lots of information in this manual on the functionality of this gun, how to use it and everything. Again, everything except for the rated battery, which I thought was weird. But anyways, again, comes with the cleaning rod. It's a nice long one, definitely more than you need because this barrel is only 10 inches in length, so this is probably closer to 20. Quickly show you the box, or at least some of it. This box is pretty long, longer than it needs to be, but it's probably just for any generic rifle. They just use the same box and put the picture on it here with the specifications, or some of them at least. So you can see here, AEG 110 rounds, whatever that is, made in Taiwan, ETU trigger system, the MOSFET setup. And now that would be checked if this one did come with the battery and charger, but this one does not. So the one we have listed in our store does not come with the battery or charger, so you have to get your own. All right, so at this point, let's just take a look around. It's a really nice looking gun. It's not overly heavy, but it's definitely not lightweight. It does have a fair bit of metal, so this whole front section, this whole rail setup, handguard setup is all metal. Okay, it's CNC aluminum. Now, the front sight here is partially metal and plastic, so you can see it's a flip-up sight. You can remove that, put whatever you want on there, but the back side is plastic. It is adjustable for windage, in this case here on the front, so windage on the front, or sorry, it's the other way. Elevation on the front, windage in the back. You do have this removable tip here, so you could add MOK suppressor or whatever you want, or different style tip. You have the M-LOK handguard rail, okay? So you can put all kinds of stuff with. Now this front part is metal, so the Picatinny rail on the front, and then the rear part on the back here is going to be polymer, plastic, right? Because this whole back receiver area is plastic, including the rear part of this Picatinny rail. Now the rear sight is a peep sight, flip up, and it's all metal. Okay, so that's quite nice, and it's adjustable for windage. Okay, you do have ambidextrous controls, right? So semi, full auto, safety, and then that can be programmed for 3-round burst. You do have the flat trigger. It's just basically a single action only trigger because it's an electric trigger. You've got your magazine release, which is ambidextrous because obviously it's in the center with these, you know, sort of like pseudo plastic rounds, but they do look pretty believable. Okay, so looks like you got 45 semi-auto, except for if you look at the front there a little bit. But from the back and the side, it looks pretty believable. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do when you put this style of magazine in is just make sure that that is in there. Otherwise, you can snap it off in there. So be careful if you're loading it in and there's no ammunition, and that piece can stick out and get jammed up in there. So be careful with that. I'm actually going to bring this out for now just so that I can maneuver it around a little bit more. But you do have this latch here on the left side. Really easy to pop the stock out, okay, to snap it in. You have a nice rubber butt pad on here. On the other side, you can see your ambidextrous controls, okay. And then this would be, I'm not sure what that is. That might be the bolt catch release. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the catch release there, okay. So, okay, so that's your catch release. And you can see even the charging handle is ambidextrous, okay. I'll show you that again. So when you pull it out, you can pull it out from either side, get at your hop up there really easily, and then just pop it back just like that. So lots of great controls on here. Everything's really easy to get at. It's quite a nice gun, and you also have different places where you can pop on a sling. This is all metal here, so that's metal. A lot of your pins and whatnot are going to be metal. Again, a lot of the sights are metal. Your controls, your switches. Trigger, I think, is plastic, though. I'm pretty sure that's plastic. It feels a little flexible. Trigger guard here is metal. The magazine release appears to be plastic, but there's some metal internals in there, if you can see that, right? Lots of metal internals. And this whole section here, this is actually plastic. Sorry, that's plastic. This is metal. Another sling mount, potential sling mount area there is metal. So lots of metal. Enough for sure to keep, you know, where you need it to be nice and durable. It's going to be there. So pretty nice looking gun overall. Let's pop that back in for the rest of this video. All right, so let's get into some pros and cons. It does have that compact PCC format with a folding stock, and it's easy to maneuver in tighter spaces because of its smaller size. You're going to find metal where you need it, the controls, the handguard, the barrel, the sights, a lot of the pins and things like that, and latches. And almost all the controls are going to be ambidextrous, so it's a big win for lefties or righties, of course, doesn't really matter. You're going to find that M-LOK handguard, which gives you lots of mounting options for accessories, like a tack light, maybe a laser, something like that. You could even put another front grip on there. It does have that MOSFET ETU platform for solid trigger response and efficiency, which also gives you a selectable 3-round burst or full auto. So shooting in 3-round burst means you don't have to commit to unloading all that ammo, especially if you're using a mid-cap 110-round magazine. You're going to run out a little quicker if you're always firing in full auto. You're also going to find that 14mm CCW threading for different types of add-ons, whether it be a tracer unit, MOK suppressor, different flash hider. And that folding stock makes it a lot easier to transport and store. Again, those sights are fully adjustable. You have elevation in the front and windage in the back, and there's no orange tip on this gun. Just comes with that black tip, which again, you can swap out for different other barrel options. All right, some cons. It does have that proprietary PCC45 magazine, which can be a bit pricier and chunkier than some common M4 style mags. And as I mentioned already, that battery area is kind of small. You do have to pop off that handguard, which doesn't require tools, but it does take a little bit to get in there. And your battery options are going to be somewhat limited in terms of size. All right, that pretty much wraps up this review of the PCC45 Pro M-LOK Airsoft AEG SMG. Again, we're selling it in our Canada store. I'll put links in the description to buy it. If you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, we do carry those in our Canada and US Replica Airgun stores over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for the US. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.